I'm here to talk to you about how to make money as a photographer. How I make money as a photographer. We're just gonna get straight into it. It's relationships. There's nothing else. There's nothing else really to it. Like you don't have to go to film school. You don't have to have a degree. I don't have a degree. I didn't go to film school. I picked up a camera and I started shooting. I started shooting things that I liked. The first things I started shooting was women, natural women. And I got into that because I just had a passion for natural beauty. I started asking friends, artists, because I'm also a poet. So I started asking artists, models, or just regular women, mostly just regular women or some of the artists, and ask them, can I shoot them naturally? And that's how I started. It was relationships that actually got me my first photo shoots. Um, and then when I worked with a fashion brand, that's that's when the designer started telling me about relationships are more important than money because those relationships get you in the door and they get you and that relationship will get you into the next door and open up the next door, so on and so forth. So how I make money at Dame Films is most of my clients, I have strong relationships with them and they automatically brag to their colleagues, to their family. They always share my information because I have a relationship with them. A lot of them treat me like family. I end up shooting. I start with their business and then I end up shooting their family events. I have some financial real estate clients. I started shooting their business at first, and then I end up shooting their wedding renewals. Um, I'm recently shooting. Um, it's football season, so I'm shooting their son's junior games. Um, yeah, so it starts to become personal because of the relationships that I've built with them, and it helps. Of course, it helps that I'm good at what I do. Of course it helps. But even if you need work, your relationship will allow them to have that patience with you to be able to learn the ways. You know what I mean? Get better. It gives you room to get better because your relationship really sustains their trust that you're going to take care of them. And people, and it's not so much about your skill set. People are more comfortable with people are more comfortable spending money with people that they're comfortable with, that they feel safe with. It's just like a intimate relationship. A woman wants to feel safe around you. You see what I'm saying? A woman wants to feel comfortable around you and then she opens up more. So your clients are the same way. The more that they trust you, that's why my slogan is trust the shooter like you trust God. That keeps me on my toes. That keeps me on my toes with my integrity, my quality. Um, and it just keeps me on my toes about the integrity of my brand and making sure that I'm on time. And if I'm not on time, that I fix it the next time, that I problem solve. If I make a mistake, I have to figure out how to make it up to my customer because I have to keep that trust that I've built with them. And that even if you make mistakes, they have to trust that you are going to have enough accountability to fix that mistake. That's also part of the trust. You know what I mean? Because even in relationships, everything doesn't go right. Some days you're not a good husband, some days you're not a good wife, some days you're not a good girlfriend, you're not a good boyfriend, some days you're not a good brother, some days you're not a good sister, but they trust that you will take accountability and you can talk about it, you can make it up, you can find a solution and you can make it right and you can get better and you can work through it. That's the same thing with business. The relationships that you build with your clients. Um, there might be somebody who could shoot better than you, but they don't trust them. They don't trust them enough to bring them around family to capture those special moments. You see what I'm saying? They don't trust other people. Um, they don't trust to recommend you to other clients and to people that are special to them, people that are close to them, people that they built relationships with, that they built trust with. They don't trust to recommend you or recommend some stranger to these people because their name is on it, their trust is on it, their guarantee is on it. So when they know you and they trust you and they've been through some ups and downs and you've taken accountability, you've fixed the problems, you found solutions, you've gotten better, your quality is increased. They can they feel safe enough to recommend you to other people that they care about, you know? And so that just increases your value. And it's not just so it's and again, it's not so much about your actual talent, it is your character. Because your talent can increase, with practice. Your talent can increase with education in your field. And anybody can be good, but everybody can't be trusted. Someone who can't be trusted can still be great at their job. You see what I'm saying? They can still have a high level of performance, but they can't be trusted. They're not consistent. Um, or they're just not a people person because people want to feel comfortable. Sometimes it's about the rapport, and that rapport that you build builds chemistry. You know, like some of my one of my clients, um, even when she has events and she may have hired another videographer, she'll still hire me. And you know what she says to me? She says, "I hired another videographer, but I know you know my family. I know you're gonna get the moments that we need, and my family loves you. So, hey, I'm gonna pay you still. What's the price for this, that, and the third, you know. So even though she may have another videographer, that's fine. That's just that videographer may think that they are the main one, and they've now just become the backup because you are the one who knows the family. You are the one who is trusted. You're the one that has the relationship, and you know the ins and outs. You know about the smiles of the family more than that videographer. That videographer is just someone who's gonna try to capture the moments for the first time, but they know that you know the intimacy of the family. You know them closely, and they trust that. They trust that you can capture those moments that need to be captured, that can be remembered forever. And you can't get that without relationships, without building that relationship. And then when the family sees that, and because one family member trusts you, then all family members trust you. And then when you got one family member recommending you, and all of the family members trust you, then all the family members recommend you. And they recommend you to other families because if they can trust you with their family, they can trust you with other families that they know, and it just goes on and on and on, and so on and so forth in business as well. So relationships are very important. That's how I make money at Dame Films. That's how I make money at Dame Films. I make mistakes, but I make sure I have those conversations with my clients and say, hey, how can I fix this? And because the main thing is your satisfaction. I've made mistakes. I've dropped the ball before. You know what I mean? I've forgotten memory cards. I've done this, that, and the third. I've shot stuff wrong. So I just have to go when I get done. That means I have to go tighten up. I have to go. Hey, I go to YouTube University. I start looking things up because I don't go to film school. I don't, I'm not paying for film school. YouTube University is free, so I go to YouTube University, look up some of the friends that I follow, some of the videographers, cinematographers, um, that I follow, and I look at those things and figure out how to make those subtle changes and figure out what I did wrong. I study my messed up film like game tapes, just like a football team or a basketball team and anybody, they study game tapes. I treat my goods and my bads like game tape. I watch it over and over again. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what I did wrong here. Let me try this. And then I also practice on myself all the time. There's a lot of things I film that I don't show because I'm doing it to see what happens. It's a lot of trial and error. So that just don't have your equipment just sitting around. Like put it to use before you go to your next gig, so you can be ready. Um, so like that is one major thing that I learned in this business is relationships are so valuable. They're so valuable. They increase your brand value so much. People want to trust the people that they pay. Listen, people take their money personally. If you don't know, you should know, right? People really take their money personal. Okay. And some of your clients don't even care about money because they make enough money to not worry about it so much. They're just looking for somebody that they can trust at this point. You know what I mean? Some of your clients, you'll come across clients and they'll tell you, I got a new client, and the client said, listen, I've been through, you have no idea how many videographers and photographers I've I've paid and been in contract with, and I'm just not satisfied. Whether no matter what it was, it's just not satisfied. And I just love the relationship that we have. I just love what's going on and the results. And I love the results. And at the same time, he had a camera on set. He said, Dame, hi, hey, I got this camera. I don't even know. It just seems like when I try to use it, it's just not working. Can you give me some pointers? And so I wasn't, I didn't be like, I'm not gonna, show you how to use that. I grabbed the camera, I did a couple test shots, I told him a little about it, like this is what you do. I told him how to read the information on the lens that'll tell you how far your subject needs to be, so and I said, hey, just point and shoot, do this. And he was like, wow, so those little things too, those little don't gatekeep with your client. You know what I mean? Because if they wanna pay you, they're gonna pay you. If they wanna work with you, they wanna work with you. So you don't have to keep them from learning camera information. That's just unnecessary. That's all part of building trust, that you're helping them understand what's going on, because they know that you're the professional already. You don't need to explain that. If you do your job, you don't need to explain or emphasize that you're the professional. They know that. They're not gonna spend. I have a client that has enough money to buy her own equipment, but she can't shoot herself. She can't film herself. So, even though sometimes she may pick up her photography camera and catch some shots, she can't do video of herself. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of work, especially if your clients are hosting events, they don't want to sweat like you're sweating. They wanna do all that running around. So you gotta understand that you are convenient. You are convenient. So you have to have confidence in your brand. You have to have confidence in your relevancy. You have to have confidence that you are valid, that you need to be here, that your client needs you to be here, and all you have to do is execute and continue to build those relationships, build that trust, and they'll pay you whatever you need. You have to be confident in that. And then even when you're working, like I'm doing a lot of football games right now for the youth, a lot of junior and little league, the little guys. I'm doing the little guys, and then the teenagers. I'm doing a lot of those right now, and you know, um, building, even though I'm there to shoot certain athletes on that field, I'm building relationships with the referees. I'm building relationships with the coaches, with the parents, and then when other people see me working well, they're asking about, could you do something for my son? Can you do something for my child that's on the field, and whatnot? And one thing that I learned this today. I had one parent, because he asked about getting some footage for his child, um, like the last game, and he asked about my pricing for what he requested, for the last game, and I just felt like I dropped the ball and I didn't just take. First of all, because it's hot out there. We're in Houston, okay? It's hot. It's hot, hungry, and thirsty. But I feel I could have did better, and just gave him some time, gave him 5 to 10 minutes of my undivided attention, and really just, built a relationship with him, and explained things, and seen what he actually wants for his child, his vision, what I can do. Just give him some more. I just felt like I should have spent more time with him. Because again, it's a relationship that you have to build. So I just felt like I could have did that better today. I could have just gave him more time, and really allowed him to understand the man behind the camera, that I really care about this, that I really have a passion for what I do. It's not just about making money off of you. Like, I really love what I'm doing out there. I'm in Spike Lee mode, I'm in Scorsese mode. You know what I'm saying? I really want to be good at this. I really want to have good results. I really want to make a great film. I'm not just out there shooting just to get a check. Like I really want to make something great that people um feel something with when they watch it, that they get excited and that my subjects look larger than life. Like that's the goal. So I that's a note that's a note to myself that I took today that I'm going to get better on. You know what I'm saying? When clients are curious about something, don't be so short, you know? Don't be so short answered. Like stop and give them some undivided attention, you know, and really just take an opportunity to build that relationship, build that trust. Because I think it'll work out in the long run. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be so business, and you don't always have to be in a rush. It'll work out in the long run. And you never know who this person is. You might develop a great um friend, you might develop a great associate, they might just be a great person, um, someone that can help you out later on. You never know what they do, what resources they have. You never know what they care about. You never know where you'll cross paths with them. You don't know what they have going on. So just being a human being, I think just take the time to also be a human being. That's what building relationships about. And I think that goes a longer way than just worrying about just trying to get money out of people. So relationships are very important, and I think that keeps you around a long time. That's kept that's kept the bank account looking good in a drought because my long standing clients always come back around. Because we have that relationship, and they keep the bank account looking good, when nobody else knows me at the time, or I don't have any new clients, or whatever it may be. Those clients are always there, and so I show up for them. I show up for them as much as I can. I do whatever I can for them because I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and have that conversation with them as well, and let them know that you appreciate them from time to time because they're spending a lot of money with you, and that again, that goes a long way. When someone's good to you, that don't you when someone is good to you, you want to tell the world about it. So that's how your client feels. The better you are to them, they want to tell somebody about this. They want to, unless they're selfish, but they want to share this experience with someone. You don't have to ask for testimony. They'll testify automatically because of how you know, it's I forgot who said it, but it says it was something to quote about um people don't are not gonna always remember what you do or what you did, but they'll always remember how you made them feel, right? And so I think we need to remember that in anything that you do as an entrepreneur, in anything that you do, how you make people feel will be remembered over everything, you know. Um and if you focus on that as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, how you making people feel at the end of the day with your work, with yourself, how you show up for them, your relationship with them, how you communicate with them, how you problem solve, how you take accountability when you do slip up and you make mistakes. Um, if you focus on that, I think you're gonna be around a long time, and yeah, you'll never be broke. You'll never be broke. My father told me that when I was young. You know what I mean? You treat people right. You treat people how you want to be treated. I know that's cliche, but it's a real thing. It's a real thing. My father never needed, even when he was short of something, he always had someone to help him out. You know what I mean? In a time of need. If he fell off his feet, he had somebody to help him get back on his feet because he treated people so well. You know, he always kept that in mind. So he always had a plan A, B, and C because he always had good people around him that he treated good and great. And so when he needed to be treated good, you know, he cashed in on those relationships, you know, and just being a good human being to people, just being good to people. He always said that, be good to people. So in business, do the same thing. Just be good to people. It'll go a long way. you know? Um, I just find I think that has been the most important thing that has kept me going, you know. Um, you know, as well as well as I know we've been talking about relationships, but as well as also never stop learning. Um, always be willing to learn, no matter how good you think you get with your craft. Um, always be open to study. Always be open to take advice and learn. In your downtime, you got to be in mamba mode. You know, you got to be like Kobe in your downtime. You know, you got to take advantage of those quiet time. You got to take advantage of some of that free time, and you got to get in that gym. You know, you got to get in that gym and practice and take advantage of that because it helps. You know, don't just put the camera down. You got to learn about it. So just always be willing to learn, and then learn from others too. Like it doesn't matter. You may be better in something than another videographer, another photographer, or what have you, but there may be something that they do on their side of things that you can take and learn from, and add that to your presentation, add that to your branding, add that to your marketing, add that to your approach and your pitch, you know, that'll fine tune what you have going on, that'll increase the value of what you have going on. So always be open to learning something new, you know, to adding unto yourself. I don't think you can add, I don't think you can add too much if it's for the better. I don't think there's too much of good that you can add to yourself, add to your brand. So always be open to learn. Never stop learning. You know, be an open book as well too. Share that information, and people will share it with you. You know, I think it's karma. It just come back to you. So that's a big part of it. That's how I keep my clients for a long time. I never have to worry, and then that gives me time to um to gain new clients, to expand my network, because my consistent clients are always around to keep the ball rolling. So I appreciate them, So, and then sometimes you can also show appreciation for your clients too. You know what I mean? Slip something in there for free. I got a couple clients that's overdue, so I've been thinking about that. So, those things, people remember that. People remember that. They remember that, and I think that's very important. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, man. And I hope this information inspired you. I hope you found some value in what I said. And I need you to go out now and go try that. I need you to work on that right now. I need you to work on that. I need you to make some phone calls. The next client you get, I need you to remember these points, these tips, and these tricks. And um, you need to use these in your next approach, in your next pitch, in your next moments with your clients. Remember that, man. Build those relationships. You know what I mean? Because you never know what doors are open. You might not have to do 10,000 hours. You might get some big doors open within 1,000 hours, and be on your way to bigger clients because of your relationships that you did with your clients that started out with you. So like, yeah, remember that, man. That's just um, something I always hold true. Relationships are more important than money, definitely. So I think that's all I have. I don't know how long I've been talking. It's about what, 30 minutes? About 30 minutes. So I think that's it. I'm not gonna talk anymore. I don't have any more. But what I need y'all to do, I need y'all to go to social media right now. I need you to go on your social media right now, right? And Dame Films LLC, DAME FILMS LLC, Dame Films LLC. Go on Instagram right now and follow my page right now. Trust the shooter like you trust God. You know what I mean? I shoot people with my camera, of course. Um, yeah, follow me, check out my stuff. Make sure y'all share this video. Share this video with a videographer. Even if you're not a videographer, you're not a photographer, share this with your videographer and photographer. Share this with who you're building a relationship with. You know what I mean? Maybe they've been messing up with you and they need to hear this. Share this with them right now. Go ahead and share this video as much as you can because, we're building relationship. We're building a relationship. You know what I mean? You never know what you might get if you share my video. Share my video right now. Share my video, tag me in anything. If you cut any clips or you share this with somebody, tag me, tag them, so we can network and we can start building relationships. I might be able to help them, to help you. Ain't no gatekeeping over here. There's no gatekeeping over here. I'll share this information because this information was given to me. You know, I didn't even have a camera. The first time y- when I was little, I would take my father's camera. But when I first started to do this professionally out here in Houston, um, a poet, she had brought a new camera. Shout out to Chris Crawford. Um, and she was going on stage and she said, Damon, could you take a couple shots of me with this camera? She showed me how to what to do with it. And I took a few shots, went crazy. I was a natural. She was like, "These are amazing. You you probably need to think about getting a camera." Yeah. So, and now from Third Eye View Films to Dame Films, I evolved into Dame Films, and now it's Trust the Shooter Like You Trust God. So, and that was because of a relationship. I had a relationship with her as far as being a fellow poet. And because I was a good guy, she trusted me with her camera, with her device, with her expensive device. I took some shots. She said, "You probably need to be doing this for real." And then, boom, this is where we at now. Now I'm sharing that information with you and I'm telling you about relationships. I just realized that's the whole reason why I'm here. I mean, my whole testimony is relationships. So I don't know what else, how much more evidence you need. Relationships are more important than money. That's it. Yeah, that's it. I think we could just clip that right there. This might be a thumbnail. But again, make sure y'all share this video. Share this with a cinematographer, videographer, photographer, anybody that's starting in this business, somebody that you've been working with, somebody that you've been trying to build up, somebody that you have a faith in, one of your friends, one of your besties that just got their first camera. Share this with them right now. Put this in their DM, send it to their Facebook Messenger, tag them on Facebook, tag them on Threads, tag them on TikTok. Share this video with them right now so they can start getting busy, so they can start getting their clients up, so they can start making money. And if they're your guy or gal, if they're your videographer, if they're your photographer and they need work, send them this video right now so they can tighten up. Tell them to hit me up. We can share some information. We can get better. We'll grow better together. Y'all know what it is. This is Dame Films. I'm Dame, and I need you to trust the shooter like you trust God.